This conference will now be recorded.
Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're doing well. It's a pleasure to see you all here today. Just wanted to greet you and let you know that we will be getting our monthly meeting, our June meeting started for our full Board of Commissioners. So just wanted to welcome you. Thank you. All right. Well, good evening again, and I would like to now count our meeting officially open. Our June Board of Commissioners meeting is now open. Mr. Carter.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair.
Good evening, sir. Do we have a quorum?
Yes, we do. And I just want to check to see if there are a few commissioners that perhaps may be online today. Uh, Mr. Johnson, are you on? Okay. Mr. Lewis, Gregory Lewis, Ms. McCray, Ms. McCray. All right. And Ms. Pitchford, are you on? Okay, well, perhaps, Mr. Chair, they may come online sooner than we think, and then we can invite them into the meeting, except of course for Mr. Johnson, but we do have a quorum today.
Very well. Very well. With that being the case, we're going to go ahead and proceed with our meeting agenda. And our first item or our next item is the approval of the minutes from May 16th Board of Commissioners retreat, as well as the May 20th regular scheduled Board of Commissioners meeting. Hopefully everyone has had an opportunity to review those. My fellow colleagues, do you have any questions?
Move for approval.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, may I have a motion by the board to approve the minutes?
Second.
Moved by Mr. Elliott, seconded by Ms. Brody. All right, by roll call, be seeking approval. Mr. Jackson,
Aye.
Mr. Parker,
Aye.
Ms. Brody,
Aye.
Mr. Elliott, Mr. Hardeman. All right, the ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, perfect. Is that Commissioner Johnson I hear?
Yes,
Welcome, good sir. How are you this evening?
I'm doing fine.
All right, Mr. Johnson, would you like to also insert your approval of the minutes, sir?
Yes, I vote to approve the minutes.
All right. Thank you, sir. Mhm.
All right, so next we have chair updates. And I must share with you that I am 100% excited. I will tell you, as far as an organization, an agency, this has been a very busy month. And just when we thought that we had climbed a really tough mountain, with that being the zoning approval of Mosby, then with the funding for 400 Gray Street, and then we had received a call or received some communication from the mayor's office indicating that we'd reached an agreement in principle. And so And that agreement pertains to some really exciting topics. The redevelopment of Gilpin. And we all can probably remember some of the challenge that we went through trying to get some real footing. Well, as our CEO has shared with me, uh, it's not quite official yet, but we do have an agreement in principle. So as the chair of the board of RRHA Commissioners, I'd like to welcome Mayor Vula's team, his senior team, to today's board meeting as we look forward to hearing the update on the status of the negotiations and understand we may have reached a historical moment in taking the first step of rebuilding one of Richmond's most historical sites, Gilpin Court. And this is a big day of celebration. Can't you see the smiles? Can't you see the smiles? I'm sure as we reflect, we can remember some of the headlines in the media. And so, this is a great day. It's a day of collaboration. And I just want to thank Mayor Vula for his leadership in helping us all to get where we are today. As we invited him back in November of 25, I guess my colleagues, you guys remember, we rolled out that red carpet to our board meeting when he articulated a resident-centered vision for redeveloping Gilpin Court. And rightly so, with all community voices at the table to include the Gilpin residents, advocates, and community stakeholders. Most importantly, having all of this collaborative input, the thing that I like most for this effort that we as a collective body have continued to work towards, we're having the first time in history, the greatest opportunity to collaborate with our city and utilize resources that are somewhat out of our reach. And so that is an amazing opportunity. Also want to thank our CEO, Stephen Naismith. I can tell you firsthand that this man works tirelessly, as he likes to joke and say that RRHA is his girlfriend. Stephen, you've demonstrated steady leadership in your negotiations with the city. I can also recall asking this board to give our CEO the opportunity to go back and continue conversations with the city leadership so that we can get to this place and look where we are. And so we want to say thank you to the RRHA staff. I would tell anyone, top-notch executive staff, top-notch. They handle all of the business of the day. They strategically work alongside us to look forward down the road. And we together have accomplished significant things. And I look forward to what the future holds as we embark to work closer with the city. So I now ask our CEO to introduce Mayor Vula's team.
Thank you, Chair Jackson. I'll start by saying, thank you, Chair Jackson. I'll start by saying, wow. Wow. As I spoke with Mayor Vula, and I told him, Mayor Vula, a lot of people counted us out. A lot of people in this city probably didn't think this was going to happen, but we did it. I told Mayor Vula that if we can execute on what is contemplated in this agreement, I said, Mayor Vula, it will be the largest partnership and investment by any mayoral administration in this city. And he said, let's get it done. I want to now thank, I can't thank tirelessly my staff who put up with me mornings, early mornings, late at night, and yes, on Saturday and Sundays. Some people I don't call on Sundays. But I can't just say enough for you all. I'm not going to break in no tears, but this is a really, really big moment. And what a wonderful team to all the Board of Commissioners and the chairman. Mayor Vula has assembled a great team. It has been a joy to work with the entire team, Mayor Vula, but in particular, I want to say thank you for y'all hanging in with me. Sharon Eber, Sharon and I go back. We've been working for a while together. Merrick Malone, you've been fantastic. Thad, you're more than a professor. You one smart cookie. And I just want to thank you all for hanging in there with us. I want to thank the Board of Commissioners, majority of the Board of Commissioners, as the chair said, that voted for me to get back at the negotiation table. And I'm going to tell you something. I think with Ms. Mayor, the three you see there is an extension, I believe, of really the top-notch team that Mayor Vula has put together. I think we're going to do great things together. And I think that we're going to set the standard for all the other housing authorities in the Commonwealth of Virginia. And I look at the three of you all, I'm not going to break down and cry again, but I got to say it again. Sharon, Mary, Thad, and the rest of the team, bottom of my heart, thank you. I'm just happy we're here. And we couldn't do, and I think we're going to do great things together. And with that, I want to, I don't usually shake. I'm usually not lost for words, but this is one of them big moments. Thad, you and I have been talking a lot, and I'll turn it over to you to introduce formally the members with you. Also want to thank Odie. Great guy. Great guy. Great guy. Mayor picked a good one. Thad, I turn it over to you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Nesmith, and it's good to be with the board again. And I feel like I've been seeing many on this side every other day, just about the last few months. And it's been great to work with your team. It has been a very collegial process, as you described. You know Sharon Ebert, our Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Economic Development Planning, Merrick Malone, Director of Housing and Community Development, Deputy Chief Administrative Officer for Human Services, Amy Popovich, who's also been essentially involved and will be even more important as the real work gets underway. Sarah Carpenter, also in the mayor's office, has played an important role. The city attorney's office as well, and of course the mayor, chief of staff, and the chief administrative officer, Mr. O'Donnell. We've been keeping them abreast every step of the way. So again, I'm Thad Williamson. I'm senior policy strategist. I'm just going to make a couple of brief comments about the process and where we are, and then I'm going to turn it over to Sharon and Merrick to fill in some more of the details. We're happy to answer some clarifying questions about process in particular tonight. So what we've been working on is a memorandum of understanding that will codify two important things. Like one, first and foremost, the commitment we're going to make to residents around core things, because I believe the residents are justified whenever the topic of redevelopment comes up to ask the question, what's going to happen to me? And we have to be able to answer that question as clearly as we can in all our communications, and to put some things, in writing and have total clarity about that. And so I think this MOU will accomplish that. And secondly, is figuring out how our respective entities are going to work together. And I think we're all very clear that the status quo is unacceptable, and the conditions and the housing units are not great for human development and for human beings and for kids. And we need to change that. We have a responsibility to change that. However, it's a massive undertaking, and people have been trying 20 or 30 years about just Gilpin Court, let alone the others. And I will say, City Council is very concerned not only with Gilpin, but with all the public housing communities, as you are. So we're very hopeful that this will be sort of the template or framework for Gilpin that we can quickly apply to the other communities that we're going to be working on over the next few years. So it's a memorandum of understanding. It's a formal collaborative agreement. We were hopeful that when finalized, it's still a little bit of legal work to do, but when finalized, the board will consider it for approving it, and then we will also bring it to City Council. They don't have to, but we want them to to see it, to understand it, because we want the city council and administration to be completely on the same page. Because this is such a big thing. And also, one of our points is in the press release say this is a 10-year process. And in 10 years, the mayor's term limited. He won't be here at a minimum. And there can be other changes too, no doubt. And so we need to lock something in place that can last for as long as this work takes. So having that council blessing, I think, is really important. So the two big strategies, one is to create this transformation working group that will be senior leaders, but also others who are just doers and can make things happen, have the operational authority to put forth a people plan, a housing plan, and a neighborhood plan all at the same time, working in concert. And the second piece, equally important, is what we're calling a Jackson Ward Community Plan Steering Committee, which will be the avenue by which residents can have input, voice, oversight, raise questions, push, all those things, as well as other community stakeholders. And so both those groups will be operating in parallel. It's not that one dominates the other or reports the other. They both will be working together and influencing one another. But one is, if you will, the doers, and the second is the community stakeholders for whom we are doing the work. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll turn over to Sharon to describe some of the details. Thank you.
Thank you, Thad. And thank you, Chair Jackson and Vice Chair Parker, and all of the esteemed board members here attending tonight. And Stephen, thank you so much for bringing your team to the table. And it's been a very collaborative effort. Took us a few months to do this. It's been hard work. But I want to say that, the hard work actually began several years ago when we both applied together for a Choice Neighborhood not implementation, but planning grant. We got the planning grant award, and that allowed us to meet with Gilpin Court and all of the residents from Jackson Ward and all of the community members from Jackson Ward. And so the guiding principles of the MOU come from that Jackson Ward community plan. And if I may, I just want to take a few of them to bring them, because they become the guiding principles of the MOU that we're going to bring forward both to our city council and to your board. This redevelopment of Gilpin Court will incorporate continuous community engagement and community capacity building. And these are all principles from that Jackson Ward community plan. The redevelopment will be resident-centered and will support residents throughout all phases of the implementation of the plan. It will include meaningful participation by community businesses and organizations, because it's more than just the redevelopment of Gilpin Court. As we all know, it's the revitalization of Jackson Ward as a premier Black-centered neighborhood in our city. The redevelopment activities will recognize and incorporate Black art, culture, and traditions in what we do. And it will provide a defined range of neighborhood services and amenities accessible to all the residents. And I think this is important because it's not just housing, it's wrapping around housings, all the things that every other person would want in their neighborhood, so that they don't have to go outside of it to seek those services and amenities. It will also be inclusive of all residents and support individual economic development and advancement, and include community-based businesses in doing so. The redevelopment neighborhood will include a broad range of housing types, serving a wide range of housing incomes with priority to the replacement of all Gilpin Court housing units. And finally, the redevelopment effort will include multiple home ownership structures for existing and future residents. And while we recognize that the home ownership units may not be part of the footprint of Gilpin Court, there is a commitment from the city, because it's in the Jackson Ward plan, that we work with larger area of Jackson Ward to create those housing home ownership opportunities. And I know that it's been important for the mayor's office to include one-for-one replacement of the Gilpin. This is one of the things that our council is also that is part of this agreement. that we are providing tenant protections, and we're also rebuilding is a mixed income community, because we've all agreed that concentration of all very low income families is not productive to the well-being of a human being. And then case management support, as Thad mentioned, Amy Popovich, who could not be here tonight, but is my counterpart as the DCAO for Human Services. We have hired someone to lead the people plan. That individual starts at the end of June. Their first task is to start to work with the larger group to put together a people plan and to figure out how we go about not only the community engagement piece, but also how do we assess and do case management, and whether that involves hiring more staff within the city or going out and getting a third party to deliver those services, but all things that the group will work together and collectively develop the people plan together. And then lastly, just some of the community benefit goals that we put in there that we all share, which is making sure that anybody that works on this project is getting a living wage of at least $20 an hour, that we're working to bring in minority businesses that we consult with, not just for construction, but across all of the different entities and all the work that we're doing, neighborhood, housing, and people. So I think this is a comprehensive plan. It's an ambitious plan. It is a 10-year plan. And so we want to be honest with everybody. This type of transformation of an entire neighborhood is not going to happen overnight, although you've already started with an off-site first build, which gets us ahead of out of the gate. But I am just thrilled to be here along with my colleagues, to be able to say we share your enthusiasm. We're ready to be a partner, and we're looking forward to getting the document executed so we can start to implement it. And Merrick, I don't know if you want to say anything, but I will pass. No, Merrick is.
I don't want to be redundant.
Okay. Don't want to leave you out, but thank you. We appreciate you inviting us here tonight to share in this good news.
Well, thank you for sharing, and thank you for helping us with clarification of understanding. Um, we've been waiting in anticipation, and so we're grateful to have you, and we're grateful to hear about the anticipation and what we have ahead of us. The real work begins once we start breaking into these groups and figuring out, all of the important things. But I am confident. I'm extremely confident that whatever agreement we have made is fruitful for those families that we serve, and the greater community at large will benefit from these two agencies collaborating and bringing in others to share and help hold up the weights of the task at hand, and together we will reach our end goal. So thank you. I want to turn to my colleagues now, Board of Commissioners, to include Commissioner Johnson. Do you have any questions, any comments?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have any questions. I do want to say ditto to Steve, what you said about Stephen. He has worked tirelessly trying to get this thing together, because we cannot lead the least of these as a house divided. So I welcome city's cooperation and participation and their support. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. Any members here and present? Okay. All right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Vice Chair Parker.
Sure, would just like to say to Sharon and to the rest of her team, thank you. I appreciate everything that you're doing, and we're looking forward to working with you. We're already planning in the background, trying to see how we can make some moves with you guys, because I'm just excited about the potential that you have and the potential that we have, and bringing all that together can't be anything but just a great opportunity. So I'm excited about the workforce development side of it, and we're going to build some houses, but we got to get some people some jobs too. and get them working and on the good side of being able to, pay for that unit that they're getting ready to get. So I think there's some ways that we can do it. And you guys have a great team over there that can help us with that. And I love the fact that you're also talking about MBE participation. I always like that. So anyway, we're excited. That's it for me, Mr. Chair.
All right, that is awesome. So again, we welcome you, we thank you, and we look forward to you working with you. And if you will convey our thanks and condolences to our mayor, and as my dad would say, let's get on down the boulevard. And so there we are. Ms. Sade, I understand as we look at citizens' comments, we have 3 that have signed up tonight. Okay, all right. And so to those who've signed up, Ms. Hargrove, Tracy Reed, and Edna Ford, I'll call you out individually. If you are not here with us in person, there is a 3-minute timer. Each person will have 3 minutes to make their case, their statements. I'll let you know it's not. We will take all comments under advisement, and if there are things that need to be followed up as a result of your concern, we will route those to the appropriate persons, and someone will follow up with you promptly. And what we do ask is that in your comments, if you will be mindful to treat those who you're directing comments to, treat them as you would like to be treated. And I think that will go a lot further in regards to respectfully receiving your comments. So thank you. Our first citizen comment will be from Ms. Edna Ford. Ms. Ford, are you either here present or on the line with us?
Present.
Well, hi, Ms. Ford. All right. So you're gonna make your comments from there?
Yes, sir, if you don't mind.
Nope, don't mind at all. So you have 3 minutes. If you see over there, as you get closer, we will make you mindful of your time. So the floor is yours.
Yes. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening.
Good afternoon.
My name is Edna Ford, and I came here today to personally thank Mr. Stephen Nesmith, the CEO of RRHA. He helped me greatly to find housing. I was homeless, and following breast cancer, I had surgery, and it left me without a job. And so I became a homeless individual. I was displaced. And this man, he worked with me night and day. I would call him like at 9, 10 o'clock at night, worried, crying, um, because I didn't have a place to live. I was sleeping in my car and going from house to house with people that I knew. And you know how that can be. Sometimes people really don't want you around after a while. And so I grew very worried. He said, "Don't worry, we are going to get you into senior housing." And he did. Him and his team leaders, Miss Hargrove and Mr. Snow, they worked diligently to find me housing. And now I am benefiting from the senior housing. And I just came down here to tell him thank you so, so much. He possessed all of the qualities I think that a good leader should have. He's a hard worker. He has integrity. And he has humility. He understands us. He understands his people. He lifts us up. He don't make fun of us. He don't try to degrade us, but he help us to better ourselves. And for that, I thank you, Mr. Nesmith. Thank you so much. And thank your team for working with me and finding me a home. Thank you so much.
All right. All right. Well, Ms. Ford, thank you. Thank you for sharing your comments. And we are happy that you have a home. We are extremely happy that you have a home. So, okay. All right. So as we move on, next we will have Miss Iris Hargrove. Miss Hargrove, are you present in the room with us, or are you online?
I am online.
Okay, well, good evening. You have 3 minutes, and your time starts now.
Good afternoon. My name is Iris Hargrove. I'm a resident of the Fairfield community. I'm also a participant on tenant council. I'm secretary. I'm here today to speak with the board about an issue that I had with the BNA construction. I did do an email. I CC Mr. Jackson and Mr. Parker in the email along with my management. After I sent that email, I got a call from Mr. Nesmith Smith. Mr. Nesmith Smith, when he called me, he was very nice. I would give it to him. He was very nice. But his biggest concern, I felt like it wasn't about my concern. His concern was about why I CC him in on the email. And after I explained to him why I CC'd him in on the email and everything, he took initiative to fire one of the guys with BNA Construction. But due to me having an accident recently and dealing with head concussion, some things be delayed. So I emailed him back and I was like, Mr. Nesmith, I was like, I appreciate you taking care of one problem. I said, but my main email was about how I was treated by the BNA Construction during the time I was working and after I stopped working. During that time, I did contact Charles Williams. When I contacted Charles Williams, we was talking. He put me on hold for 25 minutes. And then he came back. He called me back after 25 minutes and he said that he had went into the grocery store. During the time I was on the phone with Mr. Nesman, he was listening to me, but the whole time he was listening to me, he was eating, which was very irritating to me. He was chewing loudly in my ear. And also when he went to speak, he was eating and chewing loudly in my ear. All I just ask is that the matter just don't get brushed up under the rug. I did find out in my researches that Brian, which is the owner of BNA, and that Charles Williams are frat brothers. So that brings a lot of concern to me. I don't know if y'all was able to pass my email along, but the way I was treated and the way the other employees be treated by this company is ridiculous. And even with Mr. Nasman attempting to fire Calvin is still not fired from the company. Kyle, I just saw the guy, Calvin, leaving the maintenance office the other day, picking up paperwork. So my question is my concern being taken seriously? Because there are other RRHA residents that work with this company and that have worked with this company and have quit. All may not have spoken up, but I'm speaking up for myself on how I was being treated. And instead of Mr.
Ms.
Nasmith
Hargrove, you have 8 seconds.
okay, instead of Mr. Nasmith addressing my concerns, he lawyered up on me. He told me to contact housing attorneys.
All right.
Ms. Hargrove, thank you. Your emails have been received. Um, I've spoken with CEO Naismith, just so that the general public has an understanding when Vice Chair, myself, are copied on emails, we will typically not respond to you we will listen, speak amongst ourselves, and then speak to Steve in regards to the status of this complaint or situation. So I just wanted to make that clear. This is something that is being dealt with internally, and that's all I can say at this point. And but you are assured that we are on top of this. Thank you.
And I thank you. And that's all. That's all I just wanted to hear from someone, just to say that it's being dealt with, and that someone is handling it. That's all I ask for. That's all I can ask for.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I will say this: not just those who are members of committees or this particular board. Every housing person is. It doesn't matter who you are. Treat people the way you want to be treated, and I will leave it just there. And those who do business with the authority, who do not share a similar position, I think the board has something to say about that because those are the things that come first for us. So moving along, next we have Ms. Tracy Reed. Ms. Reed, are you with us this evening? Again, I'm calling Ms. Tracy Reed. And one last time, Ms. Reed, it is your opportunity to speak during our citizens' public comment period. Okay, all right. So it doesn't seem as if Ms. Reed is still with us. Moving along, next on our agenda, our CEO and agency updates.
Thank you, Chair Jackson. The first item on the agenda, the next item is a good news item. I'm going to have our Vice President of Resident Services. If some of you will go into your packet, you'll see a single sheet at the very top of it. It reads, "The future looks bright," at the very top. And I'm going to have our Vice President of Resident Services tell you why the future looks bright, because it was an issue that was raised by the board, whether or not we were going to backfill with some of our staff in a very important area. Ralph Stuckey.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. As you see, the future looks bright. We're really excited. But prior to talking about this wonderful grant award we received, I just want to remind you all that on Thursday, July the 23rd at 5:30 p.m. on the campus of Virginia University, we're going to have our annual village celebration where we recognize those students who are going off to college and involved in other post-secondary endeavors. And there's still an opportunity for you to donate. Because it's really important that we support the efforts of our young people. And many of you all did donate after I made this cry last board meeting. But if you haven't, I encourage you to reach out to us. We do have a QR code that you can get. We have information that we can share with you, so you will donate. And of course, we know Mr. Nesmith is excited. And I think you said you're going to do 5,000 this year, Mr. Nesmith?
No, I straight English was 1,000.
Mr. Nesmith, you've done 1,000 ever since you've been here. You have to step the game up.
I'll increase it a little bit.
Outstanding, outstanding. But it's a great, because what we are going to do this year is we're going to recognize several of those students that you have been supporting over the years who've graduated from college, and we're excited about those students. As you notice here, the future looks bright. We were able to receive the Resident Opportunity and Self-Sufficiency Service Coordinator Grant, which is the Ross Grant, and it is a 3-year award, and we will be able to hire 2 staff people. And so a big part of what we want to do, this grant is very prescriptive. It's not, it's very prescriptive in terms of services we'll be able to provide for our families. But through this program, we're hoping to reach at least 300 people of our families, individuals, and actually provide the supportive services, as well as those things that will help them become self-sufficient and also remove some of the barriers so they can move forward and increase their quality of life.
Thank you, Ralph. I also want to add, Mr. Chair, if I may, Ralph Stuckey, I designated Ralph Stuckey to lead up the RRHA people side of the people plan. So for the city, Amy Pavlovich, who some of you may remember, who's head up our health care resource centers. Amy Pavlovich is the lead for the city and the people plan. And as we are partners in the people plan, I've designated Ralph Stuckey, his team, but Ralph is the lead person. Ralph has been at all of our meetings, and we look for your leadership in that area, Ralph. The next item on the agenda is an update on the RRHA strategic plan. Kim Cole, Chief of Staff, and Mike Kelly.
All right. Good evening. So on one, want to thank the commissioners again for a great retreat. It was the second part two of our efforts in updating the agency's 5-year strategic plan. We initially said that we were going to come back to the commissioners in July with the plan for you to review and approve. Given all of the great news we got today and some other things that are on tap, July is going to be very busy for the commissioners in terms of the things that you guys are going to have to review. Since we don't typically have a meeting in August, we will be bringing the strategic plan to you in September. If by chance there is a meeting in August, you guys just can't get enough of us, we'll look to schedule something then. But just wanted to let you know about that. And I think I'm up next. Okay, so I'll keep going. Annual plan update. So it's one of those things that many things that you guys are going to be looking at in July is our annual plan. We need you guys to approve it by resolution in order for us to submit it by the deadline to HUD. The deadline to HUD is July 16th, which is the day after the July board meeting, which doesn't give us much time to finalize and prepare for uploading into the HUD systems. So we'll be having a special virtual board meeting on the 8th of July with that as the focus. So we hope not to take up too much of your time. You'll get a copy of the plan if you haven't already had a chance to look at it prior to that, along with the resolution. But just wanted to remind you guys that we'd be doing that special board meeting for that purpose.
Thank you, Kim Cole. The next item on the agenda is one I'm gonna pause for a second because it's you know, I like to say the Lord does work in mysterious ways, and when God has his hand on something, those who want to be against it can't be against it. Chair Jackson, when you were chair of the real estate committee, you had said to me once, what's going on with Mosby Court development? I just haven't heard much of it in substance. And you were pushing back then, what's going on? Let's get more information about it. Well, as I said, the Lord works mysterious ways. Last Monday, City Council, here's the word, unanimously approved RRHA and the administration, Vula administration, to move forward on the preliminary plan to redevelop Mosby Court South. That's a big deal. Two things happened in one day. First, that happened, and we thought, when I called some members up, I was like, well, I think we're done for the year. Then as the Lord works in his miracle way, on Wednesday, get a call, the mayor and I on the phone, we're talking about Gilpin Court. Two things in 1 week. This is a big deal. I want to just thank some folks. I want to thank the developer, the Richmond Group. I want to thank our staff. I want to thank the Mosby Court Tenant Council. I want to thank the other important group, and that is the RTO. And all of them came together. And what did they vote on unanimously? They voted on what's called the Residents' Bill of Rights. And it says that if a resident has the right to come back, if they choose to, as we've seen across the country, residents sometimes choose. They say, I found a good home somewhere. I found a good church, a good school. I don't want to come. But the Resident Bill of Rights says, if you want to, you can come back. It was a wonderful, wonderful day. And I know that on the agenda, that Resident Bill of Rights is on the table. I'm going to take a special thanks also to our Senior Vice President, Cheryl Hampton. Even though she and I go back and forth, one thing, the quality of her work is unquestionable. And she led those efforts, and her team, I said, her staff, led all those community meetings over and over and over. Sometimes we had big crowds, sometimes we had small crowds. And I want to thank President Newbo. Her hand was there all the time. She showed up for the meetings. She showed us the way. Yes. And she helped us so much. But Ms. Hampton, I want you to say a few words. Take the microphone and say a few words. You earned that right. Say a few words about how this is a big deal and a little about the development.
Thank you so much, CEO Nesmith, to Chair Jackson and the rest of the board. I just say thank you to the residents because it starts with them. It is about them. They came out, our tenant council leaders, our RTO leaders, they were at the meetings. We had a good time developing this. They were very clear about what they wanted to see. They and Miss Oles was in that mix as the RTO president, and looked at it and say, "Oh, you almost got a you got a better deal than Creighton." But it's I just give a big shout out to them because without them, and I thank my team. We did some exercises, and they said, "Miss Hampton, what we gonna do with this chart?" I said, "You'll see." And it worked out well, and the residents were very engaged. So I thank you all, Chair Jackson. You came to some of those meetings.
Yes, ma'am.
We were just getting started. We thanked the developer, but we still have miles to go before we sleep. So when everybody is relocated in their new homes and it's a beautiful sight, that's when I'm gonna do my happy dance.
Oh, I like that. I like that. I
Thank
like
you.
that.
And Chair Jackson, I just want to say, recognize another member, Commissioner Brody. Thank you for being there. You were in the mix.
Yeah.
Let's give a little hand to Commissioner Brody for being in the mix on that thing. Thank you.
Absolutely. To piggyback the comments that have already been made, I can again testify, if you will, of the work that Ms. Hampton. Yeah, she's a machine, and we're grateful to have such a dedicated staff who are not only just hard workers, but provide real value. They provide value that helps us push ahead and move further. And so we salute you. Thank you. Thank you again.
The next item, Mr. Chair, on the agenda is an update on the Richmond Development Corporation, so-called the RDC, our 501c3 nonprofit, that we had an annual meeting. And we had, at that meeting, we talked about something called the annual report. I'm going to turn it over to Council Patrick to talk about the annual report you have. If you look in your packet, please, you will see a document with the Richmond Development Corporation on the front cover page, and it reads 2025, 2026 annual report. It is the first annual report of the RDC. And I'm going to take a moment to say something about the RDC. Mayor Vula and community groups asked us to change the structure of the RDC, that is the board, and that was one of Mayor Vula's requirements. And Mr. Chair, members of the board, we did that. The RDC board now, that is because this Board of Commissioners voted to make sure that the RDC board reflects what the makeup of the RRHA board. And now what I did, some of my staff didn't like me, Mr. Chair, but I had to kick a bunch of my staff off the board. But they said that they weren't going to go anywhere. And we are happy to say that we now have resident members. We have RHA board members on that board. And it is important that we do. Commissioner Brody is one of those residents. Commissioner McCray is one of those residents. President Oles is one of those residents. We also have Commissioner Lewis, and he is a treasurer and checks those reports. He is on the board. And now the board represents and reflects the makeup of the RRHA Board of Commissioners. But we didn't stop there. We decided that there was something else we need to do to bring in more resident voices. We created a resident advisory committee. And that advisory committee, I'm going to let Mr. Patrick talk a little bit about how that committee is comprised, and it allows for additional resident voices to be heard on the RDC. Now, Chair Jackson, no one's screaming and yelling about the RDC no more because it's not the focus. It will be what Sharon Ebert and the mayor team talking about. It's going to be called the working group, that joint working group, and what's going to call the steering committee. It will embrace, yes, all the community voices, the Jackson Work community folks, all the city council. That's where the decision is made. So long we made at the RDC. I think that was a brilliant stroke by Mayor Vula asking for that and the makeup to change it. So the RDC is not where the decisions will be made. You remember many years, 2 years ago, the headline in the paper, Commissioner Elliott, you and I may have talked about it. RRHA transferring Gilpin Court into a private corporation. Wasn't true. But the good thing is now RDC is not going to be making those decisions anymore. And you and I talked about a little bit, Commissioner Elliott. That's a good thing. RRHA will not be making all those decisions anymore. RHA. It is now this governance committee that the mayor team just talked about. And it puts it in the hands of the residents. And that's where the decision will be made, not RHA and not RDC. Patrick, can you talk a little bit about this resident advisory group and how we're bringing more voices, and talk a little bit about the annual report?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Nesmith and Chair Jackson and members of the board. This annual report reflects an exciting year for RDC, particularly through the advancement by this board of the restructuring of RDC to ensure oversight and accountability. So as you are aware, all actions by the RDC board must be subsequently approved by this board. And so things that, may be deemed in the shadows are now in the public and viewed in the public light. And you also changed the board to reflect stronger community representation. I do want to highlight, and I think it's very important, the Resident Advisory Committee that this board authorized RDC to create. And if you look at the last page on the annual report, or second to last page, you have a summary of what the Resident Advisory Committee is, reflecting its main purposes and duties, and the current members of the Resident Advisory Committee. So as some of you all may be aware, initially the Resident Advisory Committee was going to be composed of the RTO leadership. So it was going to be the president of each of the big 6 tenant councils, and then one representative from the senior sites. When we met with the RTO said, listen, we want to give our tenant council officers the ability to step up and have a leadership, or at least a voice at the table. And so we want to change that structure to where we as presidents can nominate an officer to serve in our place. And so we changed the structure with board approval. And so you can see that many tenant council presidents elected their vice president to serve in their place. And so now it gives us an opportunity to not only hear new community voices at the table and allow their input to be heard, but also gives RDC and RRHA staff the opportunity to provide training, kind of education on some of the HUD principles for redevelopment and RDC's role in the redevelopment of RHA's public housing community sites. So it was very exciting. We had our first inaugural meeting, I believe in May. And so we kind of had the introduction and also established kind of the parameters in that, the RTO is a separate body. And so this committee is distinct in that, we can have discussions on redevelopment, the use of, if there's unrestricted funds that RDC has through fundraising, through grants, how can that best serve the residents? And so again, we're bringing more community stakeholders to the table, more community leaders to provide their input and voices. So it's very exciting. And we look to, after speaking with the committee members, at least have 2 meetings a year, maybe more if there's a need. And so I think at least probably in July or maybe in the fall, we'll have a subsequent meeting and have further conversations with the committee. But it's very exciting and a great next step as part of RDC's transition.
Perfect. I'm in agreement with you. It is very exciting. I want to thank you, Stephen, to you and the staff for but not just hearing the request of the board, because there were members of our body who had questions about the RDC. There were members of the general public who had questions. And so with this big collaborative effort between us and the city, Stephen, like you just said, it takes the spotlight off of the RDC, but it then also allowed us to go forward to execute on the things that you guys were hearing or what were being said. And so we're grateful. We're absolutely grateful. Um, one of the things that, continues to excite me is uh, I think people we have a tendency to respond somewhat hesitantly or negatively in regards to things we don't quite understand. And that's natural. That's okay. One of the benefits to the addition of the Resident Advisory Committee is that they will have an enriched education as to what some of our advantages or benefits are as we look at the larger picture of how we impact the community. And so thank you. Thank you.
Before we go to the next item, I just want to add to that, and that is we just competitively procured a grant writer and fundraiser to help us in these efforts. I was talking with the city and Thad specifically, he and I were talking yesterday, and he said, Steve, as an extension, this is an announcement, it's an important announcement. He says, as an extension of what we announced here today, let's go hand in hand in partnership when we go out to look for funding. So he gave me an example. Thad said, we know that you went to the community foundation and you made a pitch on what's called your RRHA Moonshot Anti-Poverty Initiative. And I know they've invited you back. We have a list of about 69 other targets from the Gates Foundation down here in the Commonwealth. And Thad said, the mayor wants to make sure that we're hand in hand. So when we now go out with our fundraising efforts, he said, we should be sitting together.
Yeah.
And let them know that the mayor and a team is in support of our grant raising efforts. And it's another big deal. Yeah. When I was in the federal level and I represented housing authorities and cities as lobbyists, many times you would look, do you have matching funds? Yeah. Or how are you leveraging the request that you're asking for? And now with the commitment of Mayor Vull and his team to sit with us when we walk into those rooms, and we've got a list. And next month, the company that's our grant writing, they represent other housing authorities, but they also represent private sector companies. And so they're going to make a presentation to this board next month. And so we're just thrilled about it. I did talk with Commissioner Elliott about some things that we can do as well when we were all in Phoenix. And I think we've got some really exciting things to know that we get a partner in our fundraising effort. So
Absolutely.
I just wanted to add on that.
A weighted partner that makes a difference. And so
and we have to do that through the RDC.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that my good friend at the community foundation, Sherry, she said, do you have a 501c3 if we give you money? And that those monies rest on the RDC, not RRHA. It is not structured to receive those funds.
Yeah. I think now that some of the fog is lifted, I think the overall observation will be that these are very valuable tools that go extremely far in regards to helping us achieve our end goal, which is to strategically go about our development efforts to better our families and the position of the authority going forward as self-sufficient an agency. And that, I don't know about you, but that excites me.
The last item we have is the Creighton Court announcement upcoming June 30th. Another of handing out of keys. I get tired of Bill Johnson all the time, Commissioner Pitcher. How many keys you handing out? I said, well, that's not only measurement of what we do. We have a huge operation. How many keys you handing out? It's like a one note. And so, Commissioner Johnson, we're going to be handing out some more keys. And it's a big deal. And I'm going to let our Senior Vice President, Cheryl Hampton, talk about the keys we're being handing out. But make sure we do not give Commissioner Johnson a key. But come on, let's talk about what we're going to be doing.
Well, I guess I have to say, oops, because we're trying to give him one of the big keys. So I don't know what I'm going to say about that. But Chair Jackson and all of our commissioners and Commissioner Johnson especially, This is for Phase B, 72 units on Creighton Court, new units. We're having people moving in. Lease up is at 74%. The developer, the community builders, has set a goal for property management to be 100% leased by July 31st, and I think they're well on their way. When you look at Phase A and Phase B, when you put them together, we are meeting the national average of staying in that trend or that mile marker for having our residents return. So we're excited about that. We continue to work with them and make sure that those residents that have been relocated, if they want to return, they can choose to do so. Many do choose to stay where they are, but we are in the national average of that 15 to 25% range for our folks returning and wanting to come back. And we will continue that effort because we are mindful, even though the households or families have been relocated, we want to continue to reach out to them as other phases come online to say, if you want to come back, please apply and come on back, because we are under that tenant bill of rights there, and we want to comply with that. So thank you, Mr. Nesmith and Chair.
All right, thank you. Thank you for those updates. And I want to extend comments to my colleagues. Commissioner Pritchford, welcome. I know we've been rolling. Commissioner Johnson and those others of us who are present, do you have any comments in regards to any of the items that have been presented to us?
None here.
Yes,
See,
ma'am.
I just want to say that I'm very pleased with what I've heard so far. And going to Dallas, I'm not gonna make it long, but I do want to emphasize this. Going to Dallas, I'm starting to really, really understand the importance of partnership, finance, the RDC, and those components, how they are coming together. I just hope that we all stay on the same path and that we are confident of what we are putting on paper as well as what we are actually doing. And I am also proud of our CEO for his commitment and our chair for their commitment and this board. Each and every one of you mean a lot to me because you are unique and you are special. But getting back to the Dallas trip, the most important thing that I got out of that is from our director of the HUD thing and saying that we are moving out of the public sector and we're becoming more collaborating with our partners. And when he said collaborating, he said that we need to be strategic in how we function and how we commit ourselves to our residents, to our partners, and to make amends where need to, and don't make promises where we can't, and move forward with the future. Because the past is the past,
Amen.
but the future is where we're going. Thank you.
What a timely word. Thank you, Commissioner Pritchford. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I firmly believe that RRHA is on the right path. Despite, hearsay about the board, about our internal workings, you can't make this stuff up. The things that are happening in our favor. And I say to my colleagues on the board, each one of you are critically important, just as Commissioner Pritchard has said. We don't always agree or see eye to eye, but the overwhelming sense of the direction that we are now starting to show signs of is that we are in unison, the majority of the board, and that we are, our direction, our governance is working. And I think much like the Titanic, we're all familiar with that, we are a large agency, much like a cruise ship. When you make a turn on the steering wheel, you don't see it immediately. It takes a moment because it's such a large vessel. And so when we talked about change, we knew what we were talking about. We knew what we saw. So I want to just thank you guys because now it's visible. And so with that, we will next look at our committee updates, starting with real estate. Commissioner Parker, Vice Chair, sir.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We had a wonderful meeting, I guess, in the real estate committee the other day. And one of the things I was excited about is the Bacon Senior Community Project, 126 units that they're going to build. Dale Whitty came and he gave us a wonderful presentation. And Ms. Sherrill will have more to say about that in a minute. And also, we had a workforce development video that Patrick helped us to put together and show. And I was hoping we could see that today, but we're going to see more of that's coming forward because we're getting more into this particular thing. It's a must that we decide that we got to get people jobs. We got to get people moving into that particular sector. So I was excited about the fact that we did have some of that, but droplets there, but we're going to increase that in the coming future. So Ms. Sherrill, could you please share with update on what we did in the meeting, please?
Thank you, Committee Chair Parker and Vice President Parker, Vice Chair Parker. It was a great meeting. We presented several resolutions which will come before us later tonight. The first being a recommendation for the substitute developer on Fade Tower. Fade Tower, we brought a recommendation that developer chose to withdraw from the project, and following our procurement regulations and requirements, we went to the next highest bidder. So that is up for your consideration tonight, the full board. And we are happy to say that we are recommending the current HRI developer on Gilpin, which is HRI, our current Gilpin developer. You will also see a resolution around the tenant bill of rights to authorize our chair to sign that. And I want you to sign the original, Mr. Chair. So we
Yes,
have
ma'am.
hard signatures on it, and we have that whenever and should this body, after its review and consideration approve, will ask that you sign the original.
Amen.
That is before us. That's the second. The third is being the Bacon Senior project. It is a conduit bond project, and it is in the Churchill community. We received a support letter from President Newbill that is in her district. And as Chair Parker said, it is 126 units. You have 55 existing units that will be renovated and an additional 70 new units that will be completed if this project is moving forward. And then we will also have a 2-bedroom unit to be renovated. So it's a mix of existing and new. They shared the, and you all received in your earlier packets, you received the PowerPoint that was given. And it's an exciting project, and we need it for that special population of our seasoned citizens. So I'm happy to present that resolution tonight for your consideration. And I believe we have Mr. Toby Desch with us. We are coming back. You will hear from Toby. He is here as it relates to one of the 9 Mile projects to seek a change in the ownership entity. And you will hear more about that whenever Toby comes up. So at your discretion, whenever you would like him to come and make any comments as we get to that item on the agenda, Mr. Chair.
Okay. All right.
Chair Parker, have I, and when I say Chair Parker, I mean the chair of the Real Estate Committee.
I get it.
Right.
I get it. I'll step out of my place. Yes, and
Nor do I want to do that.
no, thank you, Ms. Cheryl. And also, I'm excited about the fact that when Dale Whitty came to the meeting, and he's the one that's doing that project down in Fulton down there, he was excited about the conduit bond project that he brought to us. That's making money for RRHA. That's one of the ways we'll continue to draw funds through. And he mentioned the fact that he was excited about doing business with us, and he'll be back again. Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I too, Commissioner Parker, Vice Chair Parker, I'm excited about the conduit bond program also. It's consistently growing. It adds unrestricted dollars, but more importantly, or equally as important, it adds to Richmond has an affordable housing crisis. And we are doing our part quietly, but we're doing our part to help facilitate or take down that deficit. And not only is this for affordable housing, but it's specialized senior affordable housing. So that those sorts of things, we can't allow those to be quietly spoken of, because that's a big deal. It's from the city's perspective, that's one of the most damaged areas, our housing. And so I'm grateful that we're able to walk in this space that we are.
And Mr. Chairman, don't mean to cut across again, but one of the other things I'm noticing that the developers are coming to us, and coming to Mr. Rail has already worked a lot of these things out in the background. They're coming to us with commitments to do MBE participation. No doubt about it. They already said, we're going to do something. And this particular one already has engaged a MBE contractor to work with them. I'm not going to call the name, but they've already engaged an MBE contractor to work with them and to help with that MBE sector. So these are exciting times.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. So next, admin and finance. Commissioner Lewis is not here. Steve, would you?
Yes, so in the absence of Commissioner Lewis being here, I'm going to have our CFO give some highlights from our last meeting, and he may have a good, a generic good statement to say on some good night, good on one good item at the end, but proceed, please.
All righty, certainly. Okay, some quick highlights on our financial statements, looking at the budget to actual.
Can you bring it up to you? Just bring it up to you.
Looking at our budget to actual, we are trending pretty well. There's a couple spots that I just wanted to point out. The voucher program admin is currently showing.
Can you please pull it up to you?
Yeah. The voucher program admin is currently showing a deficit for actual. However, that deficit is smaller than the budgeted deficit. And the public housing is showing a fairly significant deficit. And that, as we have said across multiple months, is due to vacancies and high utility costs that have been incurred throughout the year. Hopefully, those utility costs will go down now that we are out of the cold months, and hopefully come back more within line. Our AP aging summary as of April, we have a total amount owed of roughly $1.4 million. That's a slight increase from the prior month, excuse me, primarily due to some large invoices coming in real estate and the capital funds. This is just a quick snapshot of our cash flow for the month of April. During the month, there was a slight decrease in the cash, still ending with almost $28 million. And then for our RDC, this is our balance sheet on the left and income statement on the right. We are close to break even for the year with RDC. And then here are just a few highlights. I can, as Mr. Nesbitt said, I'll give a quick update on one of them briefly, but a couple of the major things that we are working on is a reconciliation of cash for both the payables and the payroll to make sure all programs have reimbursed for their portion. And at the beginning of May, we did apply for shortfall in public housing due to falling below the 3 months of reserves. On the good news, up here, it says that the auditors have been provided with all requested items. The audit is not finalized yet, but in speaking with the auditors and seeing the drafts, we do not have any findings for the fiscal 25 audit.
Okay. All right, commissioners, anyone have any questions? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, Commissioner Burrow.
In reference to the finance, you say we didn't have any variances to report on. Is that correct?
For the audit, yeah, there's no findings.
There's no findings.
Yes.
Okay. So we are kind of like caught up with all of the compliance from that we had in the past, and we are caught up with the compliance of the finance.
Yes. So the audit is going to contain two different pieces. One is basically the financial audit, and one is it's referred to as a single audit. It's the audit of compliance for federal awards. Both of those are combined into one report. There's no finding on either. So there's no significant weaknesses, material weaknesses, significant deficiencies on the financial side. And on the compliance side, we were within compliance for all programs that were tested.
Okay. And the last question is that we still have a reserve. Do we still have a reserve of at least 1 month or 2 months?
Yes. Yeah, for public housing. Yeah,
Okay.
we do have a reserve. We did drop below the 3 month, which is why we applied for shortfall.
Okay. Thank you.
So next up, we have property management. Commissioner Brody.
Good afternoon, everybody. The property management meeting was pretty fast, kind of short. It was effective. I'm one always to call out something wrong, but I got to shout everybody out. What I'm noticing now, the turnaround time on work orders is down from 21 days to maybe 5 or 6. What I'm noticing is everybody saying, hey, they come in, they fix all my tickets at one time. So one here, one there. So that's some major when you're actually attending. That's some major when you got a sink and a toilet messed up. They come in and fix both when you got tickets for both.
Perfect.
So I gotta give credit when credit due. Because when it's wrong, I'm gonna say it's wrong. So we're getting it right, and I'm happy because I'm a resident.
Yep.
So if one resident have an issue, I feel like that's my issue too. So it's Mr. Williams gonna give our report or Tiana?
Yeah.
Tiana is there.
Yay, I seen her this week.
Greetings, everyone. I will be speaking on behalf of Mr. Williams. Just wanted to give an overview. Thank you, Commissioner Brody, for the updates. And in lieu of that, I am proud to announce that our work orders are currently under 600. So that is great. And Gilpin Court, their work orders are actually under 100. So that is groundbreaking. We are excited. We have a new maintenance supervisor as well as a new property manager, and they have a system with the staff, and it is clearly showing some great results. So we are excited about that. In addition, we do have our Inspire inspections that are coming up next week. That is our national standard for physical inspections of real estate that took over for what we used to call REAC inspections. And so on Monday, June 22nd, we have Fairfield. And on Thursday, June 25th, we have Hillside. Last week, they did do the senior sites and they passed with a 67. So we are off to a good start and we are excited and hoping that we pass for the rest of our sites. So thank you.
Good.
All right.
Good. That is great news. Those work orders,
Mhm.
man. If I'm a resident, I'm like, yeah, all right, Jay, y'all coming through. Y'all coming through. I mean, but that honestly, put yourselves in. I mean, if you own a house, if you rent, doesn't matter. Something breaks down in your house, you call for help. Help comes. You might have multiple issues. You want to, a la carte your repair. It's not gonna make you happy. I love making our people happy. To fix everything at one time and have reduce the number of outstanding work orders is a feat that is very commendable. And thank you. Thank Charles. And let's keep on going in the right direction. And
Mr. Chair, I laughed some
hold
time
on,
now.
hold on. You remember some of y'all might have some interest in this or relate. Remember the movie The Wiz? Michael Jackson? Don't bring me no bad news. Thank you for bringing good news. Our residents, I mean, hey, that's where the rubber meets the road.
And I can attest to that because I didn't have to call Mr. Nesbitt on what I needed to get fixed. And and he know I will call him. Night, day, don't care. But I just wanted to say I really, and the work that they did, and not only the work that they did, but the advice that they gave for maintaining the property, not just fixing it. And they didn't have to talk, they could have just bamboo, but they took the time to do a little bit of educational talk about what the problem, was and how it can be alleviated. So I appreciate that.
Perfect. Perfect. Any other commissioners? Anyone have a comment? Online or in present? Yeah, I mean, that's what's up. That is great information. Wow. Thank you all for your work. Thank you. So next, as we move forward, will be our governance committee and chairman of the governance committee, Commissioner Elliott.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yes, sir.
The governance committee undertakes the important work of reviewing the bylaws, establishing policies, procedures, and over the years, we've done a lot of that really important work in our committee. We've made bylaw revisions. We've created and established new policies to comply with HUD requirements. So now where we are looking is to review our CEO evaluation process. That's a requirement of this board every year, as established in our governing documents, the bylaws. And with the assistance of Patrick and Denise and HR, we are working on establishing a procedure and process that incorporates best practices, ensures that we are reviewing the annual goals that we set for the CEO and establishing a review based on those benchmarks, and also wanting to make sure we are incorporating individual commissioner feedback input, so that we can continually improve the performance of the authority and the CEO in the process. So with that kind of preamble, I want to just turn it over to Patrick so he can discuss where we are in the process and what the evaluation process will begin to look like going forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Elliott. Yes, so just so the board knows, at the governance meeting last month in May, it was discussed that the CEO's evaluation of his 2025 submission of his goals and objectives was going to occur on the July 15th board meeting. But due to timing with the annual plan approval, updating and completing the strategic plan revisions and getting that finalized, the staff that's necessary or needed to compile the supporting documents that for the CEO's submission, we're requesting to complete his evaluation at the governance committee in July, on July 29th. And after speaking with Commissioner Elliott, he was in agreement that all the board members can attend, whether in person or virtually. That, as long as we have a quorum, we can conduct the evaluation. And so that will also give the commissioners time so that they can review all the submission documents as well as complete the evaluation form that HR has completed and done so in an expeditious manner, so that way we could have it before you all tonight. And so if there's no questions based on the timing of evaluation, I'll turn it over to Jessica, our VP of Human Resources, to walk through the new performance review form that's well, not so much geared, but tailored to the CEO's 2025 goals and objectives that this board set. So it'll have criteria that you all can review on. And also to the point that Commissioner Elliott discussed, the new process moving forward, we intend between legal and HR to have kind of a process outline and a new evaluation form for the governance committee to review in October. So just to look, in the forward as to what's coming up. So, Jessica.
All right. Good evening, commissioners and staff. What you all have, good evening. What you all have before you is the Board of Commissioners goal and objectives. It's the scorecard. So just walking through, what you'll see is all 8 of the goals that were outlined by the board for our CEO, Mr. Nesmith, to accomplish. For each of the goals, there is 4 levels of a score that you can give. It's either going to be did not meet the expectation, approaching the expectation, meets the expectation, or exceeds the expectation. So you will select, as a board of a commissioner, you'll select one option for each of the goals. And once you've completed your score sheet, as Patrick said, you'll return those score sheets back to Patrick and myself, and we will score them and provide an average score for Mr. Nesmith, the CEO's performance. Essentially how we're going to, just to give a little background into how we're going to handle the scoring, the first option did not meet expectations will receive a score of 0, and then it'll go 0, 1, 2, and 3. So the highest that you can score per goal is 3 points for exceeding expectations. So that's how we'll be doing the scoring. And yeah, like you said, once you've completed the form, you'll return it back to Patrick and I, and we'll handle the scoring for you.
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much. And then Patrick, you mentioned the October meeting where we'll be, the governance committee will be taking up an additional evaluation form that we'll be utilizing prospectively into the future. Can you just speak a little bit more about what we're trying to accomplish with that? That will not be what we have for this year's evaluation, but moving forward, I think we'll be utilizing that.
Yes, sir. So the recommendation from legal and HR, at least for this year, was to focus solely on the 2025 goals and objectives set. But moving forward, per the request of the governance committee, is to have something that is tailored to the goals and objectives set for the year, but also general evaluation criteria for the CEO. Mm-hmm. And so working with that and providing the example to Mr. Nesmith, so he's aware of the criteria that he's going to be evaluated on. So it's fair on both sides when we begin that evaluation process in 2027 for the following year. Okay. So that's just going to look like it, and kind of outline the process and procedures for the governance and the board in completing the evaluation, so it's done in a timely manner. Okay.
All right. So if I understand correctly, we're systemizing it. So we're creating a format for the form of how we evaluate for next year, time frame in regards to getting him new goals or amending all of that. Okay, great. So we'll have something put in place that we can come to expect, or this body can come to expect, regardless as to who is in these seats, right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And this is the evaluation form is a draft, so we will send out a finalized copy to the board, so you don't have to use this version that's in the packet tonight.
Gotcha. Yeah, so I was going to ask, obviously, if they're going to be virtual, so it's going to be electronic format. Things happen. People, emergencies. If they're unable to attend that governance committee meeting, do we have any suggested follow-up, or how do we proceed from there if somebody can't make that meeting for situations outside of their control?
So the commissioners that can't necessarily attend, we can always, based on the board's decision, if they want to, have a subsequent follow-up meeting, we can always do that. I defer to the board in that sense. But when the evaluation form is completed, you can always email it to Jessica and I, so you don't necessarily have to have it available or to the board or to the governance committee that day. You can send it to us in advance, and we can talk through that process.
Okay.
If you can't attend and you still want Jessica and I to be able to compile the score and provide comments as to what the general.
Mr. Chair, I was
Yeah.
just,
Yes, sir.
I was just going to suggest the same thing. It doesn't preclude you from submitting your evaluation of the CEO. It would just, you just wouldn't be part of the more fulsome discussion that we would be having.
Okay. All
And
right.
when the evaluation form is sent out, we'll outline everything in the email for the board.
Okay. Yes, Commissioner Pritchard.
Yes, I just want to know for the evaluation for this current document that we're doing, are we basing it upon the document that our CEO has already sent out and meet in objectives, or are we just by memory, you know?
Good question. So CEO Nesmith circulated to each of us some of his accomplishments that spoke specifically and directly to those goals and objectives that we put forward. And so is that the idea that we would refresh ourselves with that, and then with those things that, are out of our memory, but more important, some of his measurement may be in the public eye in regards to some of the things that are happening on a positive note. So just be comprehensive with your analysis.
Exactly right, Chair. Thank you.
Yeah, because I sometimes we, as humans, we might forget certain things. So I like to have the document. I mean, I have it, but I mean, going forward, I would like to stay in that kind of, like we have a document that we can also go back to and say, X, Y, and Z, that did this happen? Because sometimes our memory, so many things come up, we might forget. But that's
Yeah.
what I would.
And we will recirculate his final submission
Thank you.
for the 2025 objective.
That was
And we're
good.
also working with staff to compile supporting documents for his submission as well. So I know Commissioner Lewis, I believe it may have been with the tenant's accounts receivable. He wanted to see that financial report. So that will be included as part of the submission document. So you all have a full picture of what occurred last year and it provide an accurate evaluation.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I have. Thank you.
While we're on this subject, I would request my colleagues, consider this. We have, from the point we originally started with these evaluations, we may not have had as much content or data to measure our CEO by. At this point, we certainly do. So the expectation is that we can give really good feedback and be able to cover more distance and look at things that we want him to improve upon, or and acknowledge those things that he has done well, that we want to maintain and continue consistently.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Elliott, did I miss when these are coming out and when are they due back? When is the timeline for that?
Patrick.
So the goal, this is a short week, so we will try to get at least the evaluation form out as soon as possible. The submission documents, we may not get them to the board until early July, but we would just, and I'm not for sure on the deadline, but we will put everything in the email with the submission documents. So I don't want to speak offhand on timing. I know I'm looking at Kim because I'm not entirely sure on what deadline we set off the top of my head. So, but we'll put everything in the email to all the commissioners.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Any of the commissioners have any questions, comments? Anyone? Bill? That's it. All right. So I want to extend a personal thank you to each one of our commissioners, our committee chairpersons as well. We are showing up, we're voting, we're having meetings. We're not exactly where we want to be, but we're certainly on the right path, and we're getting work done in our committees. And it's because of your efforts. And so thank you, Board of Commissioners. So next, Stephen, you want to?
Yes. So next on the agenda, we're going to go to our resolutions.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to turn it over to the council. And I specifically asked Mr. Toby Desch to be first up. Toby and I have spent a lot of times, and he and I have been working on an important project. There's two of them actually, 9-mile 2600 block, and that's the Sprout School and affordability on that one. And today we're here to talk about the home ownership one. I'm going to include a little joke. When I saw Toby last, I said, Toby, we got it done. We finally got it done. And he said, yeah, it's taken such a long time. I think I deserve the Nobel Peace Prize. I said, well, you got to talk to Trump about getting that. So I think we're going to go first in order of turn over the council.
Well, Toby, while they're getting things together, thank you for your patience. It dawned on me as we sat in the committee meeting for zoning, the first meeting with for the Mosby South process, and I was like, dang, man, we got to wait all this time. They got all this business to take care of. So I understand your position, and we thank you, sir.
And Toby's here to speak about a request he made and both our lawyers worked on in a change that he requested, and he's here to speak to the board as to why they make that change. Toby.
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Toby Desch. I'm the executive director of RRHA CDC, and I also do work with Churchill North Holdings. We executed a ground lease with RRHA on the 2800 block in December of 25. And our intent was to then transfer that ground lease to RRHA CDC internally. We made a mistake and we are unable to make that transfer, and it will impact kind of the financial, our ability to raise funds philanthropically for the project if we do this transfer. So I'm here to ask if we can, if you all would reissue the ground lease directly to RRHA CDC. There is absolutely no change to the project. It will still be 10 affordable homes aimed at 80% AMI purchasers. But so I'm just here to ask if you all would consider reissuing the ground lease to RRHA CDC.
And Mr. Chairman, I might say that this unanimously voted to proceed out of the real estate committee.
So thank you. I understand that it's structure, sometimes mere formality. And so thank you for at least coming to us and clarifying that. Any of my colleagues have questions about this process or what we're considering? Yes, ma'am.
What I do remember somewhat the conversation, but some of it I've kind what I know you were saying about the funding and all of that, but what if this was to pass, how is the impact on the residents, the residents that are there, or if any is there? What is the impact if you all became the owners?
It is exactly the same as it currently stands. That we would be building 10 homes for ideally first-time home buyers right on 9 Mile Road. It's currently vacant land, so there's no impact. The real impact is on us to raise the money philanthropically to do this, and so that's why we're looking to transfer it to our nonprofit entity.
Okay, and there's no bonds connected with this or any any of that finality. It's just the, more so on paper to make sure that, you all can do what you need to do to get funding for the project.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right, any other questions?
Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
Just to get clarification, does this relate to proposed resolution 2026-21?
Yes, where we previously agreed to allow the sale of these properties. And this is a rebound of that group, which we previously gave authorization to move forward for funding sources, has requested of this body to consider a resolution which would allow them to change their name without any damage to those they serve or any change in their business plan that was submitted as a part of their application. Am I correct?
That is correct.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm just want clarification. That's all. That this issue will be addressed in resolution 2026-21. And
That
I'm
is
going to
correct.
talk
That-
to Ms. Hampton.
Yes, that is the resolution in question.
Ms. Hampton?
I believe you've gotten all the facts unless there are questions. This is an affordable home ownership project, and we are ground leasing and will sell the homes as they build them. We will release that to the individual owner at the time of purchase.
Correct. All right. Okay, well, I'm going to take this resolution out of order since there was discussion about it. All right, well, I'm going to read the resolution. It's Resolution 2026-21. And it states, resolution authorizing the ground lease to RBA Community Development Corporation for the 9 Mile homeownership project. I'd like to open the floor, motion for approval. Who is it moved by? Thank you, Mr. Hardman. Can I get a second? Second from Ms. Brody. Okay. All right, I am going to just, any last minute questions, call the question. Any discussion? All right, well, we're going to move forward with the vote. Our roll call. Mr. Jackson?
Aye.
Mr. Parker?
Aye.
Ms. Brody?
Aye.
Mr. Elliott?
Aye.
Mr. Hardeman?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
All right. And Ms. Pitchford? Okay, all right. Okay, the ayes have it.
Aye.
Thank you. The ayes have it. Resolution 2026-21 has been approved. Thank you, sir. All right.
Welcome. Thank you.
All right. Now we'll go back to the order that we have. We'll go to resolution 2026-16, which states resolution approving the selection of the Fay Tower co-developer amended. Okay, and so I'd like to open the floor up for approval. Can I get a motion for approval, please?
Second.
Okay, approved by Ms. Brody, motion, and a second by Mr. Elliott. Was that it?
Parker.
Mr. Parker? I'm sorry, Mr. Parker. Okay. All right, now it's been brought to my attention. First of all, I'd like to open up the floor for discussion, call the question, but there is an edit that needs to be made in the resolution, a typo in the fifth whereas paragraph, in the preamble of the resolution. It states RRHA determined that Housing Restoration Inc., it's Historic Restoration Inc. So we just have to track that correction throughout the resolution. Does everyone see that?
Mhm.
Okay. All right, well, I'd like to open the floor for discussion. Any questions? Yeah.
Just certifying, just to certify, we did go back through a not competitive process. We went back through the HUD procurement process to select this new winner for Fay Towers. Is that correct?
That is correct. The real estate committee voted after following proper procurement protocol. We went to the second highest bidder. It went to the real estate committee and we unanimously voted that this full board would then take up what was voted by the real estate committee, which you have before you.
Thank you.
All right, are there any more questions? Any discussion? All right, I'd like to take a vote. Mr. Jackson?
Aye.
Mr. Parker?
Aye.
Ms. Brody? Aye. Mr. Elliott? Aye. Mr. Hardeman?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
All right, and Ms. Pitchford?
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. Resolution 2026-16 has been approved. Thank you. All right, we'll go to Resolution 2026-18. States, resolution approving a contract for the grass and grounds maintenance services between RRHA and the Ground Guys of West End, and authorizing the CEO or his designee to execute the contract on behalf of RRHA. I'd like to get a motion for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Was it moved by Parker? Okay.
Yes.
And seconded by Mr. Hardeman. Okay.
I thought it was Mr.
What now?
I thought it was Elliott, but anyway.
Am I correct?
Parker moved. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
All right. Okay. All right, well, I'd like to open the floor for discussion or any questions, please.
Yeah, I have a question. Is it the same people that we're using now?
I think so. Yes, this is Commissioner Brody.
It is. Yeah, Mr. Chairman, one
sir.
thing, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Also, I see that they're committing 100% of their work to Section 3 participants, and which is great. And I'm glad to see that I guess it's a small women-owned business. So we're increasing our goals. We're doing a good job.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Are there any more questions? Any more discussion? All right, let's take a vote. Mr. Jackson?
Aye.
Mr. Parker?
Aye.
Ms. Brody?
No.
Okay. Mr. Elliott? Mr. Hardeman?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Ms. Pitchford?
Abstain.
Abstain? Okay. All right. Well, the ayes do have it with one no and one abstention. Thank you. All right. Move on to Resolution 2026-19. It is a resolution authorizing the execution of the Mosby Court South Tenants Bill of Rights. May I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Brody. Thank you, Mr. Hardeman. All right. Can we open the floor for discussion or any questions, please? All right. We will close the discussions now. Let's take a vote. Mr. Jackson,
Aye.
Mr. Parker,
Aye.
Ms. Brody,
Aye.
Mr. Elliott,
Aye.
Mr. Hardeman,
Aye.
Mr. Johnson,
Aye.
and Ms. Pitchford.
Aye.
The ayes have it. The resolution has been approved. All right, and now our last resolution is Resolution 2026-20. It is the resolution regarding the issuance of multifamily housing revenue bonds for the acquisition, construction, renovation, and equipping of the approximately 126-unit Bacon Senior Community Multifamily Housing Facility to be located in the city of Richmond, Virginia. May I have a motion for approval?
So be it.
Right, thank you, Ms. Pitchford.
Second.
And it was seconded by who?
Mr. Parker.
Mr. Parker?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. All right, I'd like to open up the floor for discussions and questions. I believe Ms. Hampton would like to say a few words about the resolution. Thank you, Ms. Hampton.
Thank you, Attorney. I have no additional information. I think we discussed this particular item unless there are questions, and I'm happy to answer those, should there be any.
Keep them coming. That's all I got.
Okay. All right, well, thank you, Ms. Hampton. One point I did want to make was that there was a public hearing at your committee meeting, and that was successful. So the resolution is ready to be teed up for approval. All right.
I just wanted to say thank y'all for even considering the seniors because it's needed.
Yes, ma'am. All right. All right, well, we'll take the vote now. Mr. Jackson?
Aye.
Mr. Parker?
Aye.
Ms. Brody?
Aye.
Mr. Elliott? Mr. Hardeman?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Good. All right, and Ms. Pitchford?
Certainly, aye.
All right, all right. The ayes have it, and the resolution has been approved. Thank you all.
All
Turn
right.
the floor back over
Chair
to you, Mr.
Jackson.
Chair.
Yes, ma'am.
Just one thing while we're on this, we got some late breaking good news, so that's why I would like to interject this.
Absolutely. Good news.
We have gotten word that our Sevilla, our PRC, which is 400 East Gray Street,
Yeah.
and Radish Street, those three projects got their approval from the governor's pool today. So we got letters today on those conduit bonds, and hopefully they will be closing between now and end of the year or early next year. So those three. So thank you for your support on those projects.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have a word for this in the church. Sorry for our non-church people. It's called overflow. All right. So
Amen. Hallelujah.
we are in the overflow. Keep on trucking. I'm going to turn this meeting over to our vice chair, Mr. Harold Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Chairman asked me to close out the meeting today, and I tell you, the one thing I thought about as I was trying to just to share whatever it is that could uplift you guys even more than what it is. I don't know how I could do that, but one thing that Ms. Hargrave mentioned something about was leadership. And she mentioned that leadership was so important, and hard worker and integrity, humility, and uplift for the betterment. And I know that that's all around the table here. It's everywhere in this room around here. So I know that not only is it with Steve, it's with everybody here. When I think about Ms. Pitchford and we come to a meeting and whatever committee meeting it is, and we need an additional person there, she's always running to try to say, let me get there. And she tries to do exactly that. I'm thankful for the leadership that we've had over the few years with Mr. Hardeman and Mr. Johnson, and with our current chair. These guys have been yeomans, and I've supported them all along, and I will continue to support good leadership. I'm thankful for Ms. Brody and Mr. Gregory Lewis. I think Mr. Lewis does an excellent job in what he does, and Kyle with the governance, and he does just the same thing. So I just want to be thankful for even Ms. McCrae. So I'm thankful for Ms. McCrae, and I'm hopefully I've named everybody because I'm thankful for all that each one of them do and attribute. I think about when you think about a leader, leadership is interesting and challenging because if you call yourself a leader and no one is following, then you're just going out for a walk. That's all you're doing. So we want to have good leaders. And leader. And when I looked up leader in Webster, it said a person who leads or directs. And then it also says a leader is one who leads or is fitted to lead. And I said that kind of caught me a little bit. It says fitted. That's a pretty good word there. So I went back to look that up, and it says suitable. So I think everyone that I've named so far has been more than suitable and more fitted to do what they're supposed to do as far as this organization is concerned. And not only am I thankful for the commissioners and what they do, but I'm certainly thankful for our CEO and for what he does in leadership, and Ms. Hampton, Ms. Colleen, Kim Cole, Ms. Fountain, Sig, and David just being here now. I appreciate you, and Mike Kelly, and also Tonice Webb. We certainly appreciate what Ms. Webb does, and Patrick. Awesome job that he does, and Ralph Stuckey, and others here. I don't know if I missed anybody. Sig does a wonderful job too, and Charles Williams. So I just want to name those folks and let them know that. And Miss
Miss Jessica.
Jessica. Sorry, Jessica. I can't forget you, Jessica Clark, Miss Clark, and I certainly appreciate what she does also. So I just think I'm just thankful for what everybody has done here and the things that you have put on the table to make everything possible so that we can all come together and celebrate. And I just leave it at that to just say thank you, and I'll leave it.
This meeting is adjourned.
Mr. Hartman, have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you. You do the same, Mr. Clark.
Thank you
Good to see
for
you.
whatever you do, whatever you did, because I mean, you started me out in a good way and gave me some word to let me do some things.
Sure.
I'll never forget
You've
it.
done some great stuff with the MBE and Section 3 program. We'll tell you what it is without you.
Is that the one? Who is that?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, did it come back? They claimed that we